is to actually talk about the improvements. It's hard to do one without the other, and I realize that. And one last thing on that, in regards to the costs themselves, obviously in these challenging times, it's not easy to bring forward a project like this, and it's something that if we didn't have the situations that we have out there in terms of sanitary sewer, it probably would be a lot easier to dismiss. But it's certainly my job, it's the job of the Public Works Superintendent to bring these projects forward so that everybody understands what we have to deal with, and we understand that there's a significant cost involved both for the city and the property owners. But that is something that is a choice. There's a choice to move and correct the problem now, or there's a choice to push that off and try to head it off at a later date. What I do know is that the conditions of the utilities themselves aren't going to get any better, and I don't believe that the costs are going to get any cheaper. At least that generally has not been the case. So with that, I'll ask for any questions from the council themselves, and if there aren't any, you certainly at your discretion could open the public hearing.
Do council members have any questions? Any questions at all? Okay. Before we open the public hearing, I just want to make a couple of comments. First, the council has gone through a special effort to try and be fair with everybody, especially in lieu of the fact that we got two council members that are not present here this evening, that they will do all that they can to present this for the body so that it can make an intelligent decision. Got accused again of not talking loud enough, sorry. I just want to say that Councilman Trost and myself, after this was originally presented, voted against this, along with my councilman to my left here, Mr. Coop. We voted against moving ahead. And then after that, Councilman Trost and I had a change of heart, not necessarily about the project, but we didn't feel it was fair for people to have things thrown in their face and the door slapped shut and you don't get any input. So we both supported bringing it back before this body so that you folks could express your ideas and make your comments known so that there isn't any doubt in the council's mind where you're coming from. And so that's why we did what we did in bringing it back, so that you could have your piece to say. And then from there we'll go on. So with those a couple of comments, we'll open the public hearing at this time. And anybody that wants to speak, feel free to speak. When you come up, be sure that you give your name, your address, and then your comments. And we'll try and hear everybody's comments completely. If somebody gets too long-winded, the chair will have to cut them off, but hopefully that won't be necessary. I would hope that you're all succinct in your expression of verbiage so that we get the idea without a 30-minute lecture. Okay, with that, are there any persons that wish to speak? Public hearing is now open. Come on up, sir.
Thank you, Acting Mayor and Council. My name is Mark Hartman. I live at 400 West Church Street. Thank you for allowing me to view my opinion on the street improvement on Church Street. I recently received a letter, like most people in here, with the assessments. My assessments are over $18,000. And with this poor economy, I am not very excited about spending this sum of money. Acting Mayor, if I could ask a few questions in relation to this project. The engineer answered most of them, but I do have a couple for the superintendent or the engineer. Thank you, Mr. Engineer. It was very informational, your project outline. I have to admit I learned a lot from your explanations, and I thank you. Some of the sewer lines that are flowing through the Church Street area, it is my understanding that a lot of the upstream, so forth, sewage is flowing through this area, and that would be compromised?
The sewer drainage area, I don't know if you'll be able to see my little red dot. Here we go. 10-inch sewer in Grove Street, north and south, heads west on Church Street, and then heads across and goes across into the southern area south of Main Street over here. So that 10-inch right there does take some drainage area to the south.
Okay. And I guess one of the questions I had, with the failure of one of these sewer lines, you're talking maybe a total collapse? Potentially.
Potentially.
Okay. With that, who's going to pay for this? Is this going to be the cost of the city?
In terms of a collapse,
Exactly.
if we had a catastrophic failure like that in one area, we'd first have to determine where it is, and then the city itself would go in, cut open the street in that area, try to repair what they could. Lots of times what happens in main line of this nature, where you saw some of those pictures where it's fractured like that, it just doesn't ever, it's hard to stop.
Okay.
Because the machinery that's involved down there, and once the soil is exposed, the pipe's exposed by removal of the soil, that's really kind of what's been holding that pipe together, and all of a sudden it just starts pulling apart. So it's difficult to repair. I'm not saying it can't be done, but to answer your question, the city would be paying for that, and as well as the patch of the street.
Okay, is there any potential of backup in the homes of the sewage because of the infrastructural damage?
Yes.
Okay, and who's going to pay for that?
That would be an insurance claim, if your insurance covers that.
Okay. I hate to put you and the superintendent on the spot, but in your opinion, should this project be done as soon as possible?
I can answer that. I'll just tell you that we brought this, how this even got here to start with is the engineer and I go through our city streets. We look at failures, we look at age, we look at things that we really know. We don't do things on because it looks nice amenities, we do things because it's structurally failing. We bring together to a plan of attack and we bring it to council. Every year we vote on it, it's called the capital improvement plan, okay? So how we identify that is based on need. If we think that there is going to be a failure or it's imminent, that's one of our top priorities. We switched this project from Linden Street to Church Street strictly because we know, in my opinion and the engineer's opinion, I won't speak for him, but in my opinion, we are going to have a failure. I can't believe we haven't had one. Engineer Duncan alluded to a backup I've already experienced, and before the televising crew came on site to televise, we cleaned it as a city, so it would be less expensive for us to do. And we had a manhole on Market Street in Church that was 3 feet of water in it already. So in my opinion, yes, it is going to fail.
Mr. Engineer?
Well, I guess the only thing I'd add to that is knowing what kind of an economic environment that we're in. We felt, geez, it would be really tough to continue on our program the way it was. Once we saw the new video, we could